We will protect you. This new interpretation of Marvel's first family takes place in the 1960s of a retrofuturistic world which our main team, the Fantastic Four, must protect from the world-consuming cosmic being named Galactus. Remember the time 20th Century and Marvel made another attempt at rebooting the Fantastic Four for the big screen back in 2015, which was Fanforstic? Yeah, that one sucked. A lot. Thankfully, the Marvel Cinematic Universe stepped in and gave them yet another chance to shine on the big screen. Anyway, I saw the Fantastic Four First Steps in 3D at my local Cinemark theater, and what do I think of it? It was surprisingly. Do I have to say the last word? You know what? Let's just go over my reasons why the Fantastic Four First Steps is a massive improvement over the previous Fantastic Four movie back in 2015, in my opinion. 1. The story is refreshingly solid. The story follows our main team, the Fantastic Four, seeking a way to protect their planet from the world-consuming Galactus. But at the same time, the setting implies that this story takes place in a different kind of universe, not the main Marvel Cinematic Universe that we're used to. I gotta say, I like how this movie takes place far away from the main MCU timeline, and yet the Marvel Studios logo is still credited, but in a different variation. Second, the special effects look visually great, even for 2025 standards. The special effects look more profound and it does not shy away from giving the characters and action more depth than ever. 3. The acting is unbelievable in a good way. Unsurprisingly, Pedro Pascal did a nice job playing his role as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. Although I have nothing against John Krasinski's minor role as Reed Richards in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I tend to prefer Pedro Pascal's role as said character even more, considering that he has more focus. Also, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss Backrack all did great jobs playing their respective roles as Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing. 4. The characters are quite riveting. What makes the main team worth rooting for is the number of challenges they face, like their plans on how they are going to protect their city from Galactus, and all the character development that they went through together. If anyone is wondering who my favorite character is, it has to be Herbie the Robot. Yep, Herbie is my new Marvel GOAT. 5. Michael Giacchino's score for this movie sounds fabulous, especially the main theme that plays in both the opening scene and the end credits. It sounds perfect for a superhero movie that takes place in a retrofuturistic world during the 1960s. It sounds so stellar, I can still hear the melodious rhythm and endless choir playing in my head. 6. This movie is a grand homage to the 1960s and science fiction, thanks to its aesthetic and architecture. Because of how creative the architecture looks, it makes you feel like you're watching a live action version of the Hanna-Barbera TV series named The Jetsons. 7. Unlike the costume designs from the previous Fantastic Four movie back in 2015, the costumes look more enlightening. In Fantastic Four 2015, the team's costume designs look bland, dark, and depressing to the point where I almost fell asleep. To death. But in the Fantastic Four First Steps, they look more vibrant and faithful to the source material. 8. The production values look divine. I am aware that I mentioned the retrofuturistic architecture earlier on reason number 6, but it just looks creative and astonishing. The movie does a well done job at balancing the 1960s retrofuturistic themes and the usual immersive space settings you saw in several MCU movies before, like the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. 9. The action sequences are so eventful, with the third act where the Fantastic Four is preventing Galactus from getting his hands on their baby son, named Franklin, being the big highlight of the movie, at least in my opinion. 10. The movie's message has a strong yet emotional emphasis on family being pivotal for overcoming challenges and accomplishing great things, which makes sense considering that the Fantastic Four is Marvel's first family. While I love this movie for improving a ton of things, there are some flaws I need to bring up. but they are not as problematic as Fantastic Four 2015. While it is welcoming to see some recognizable media logos, such as ABC and 7 Up, return to one of their old designs, they can still be deemed as product placement. Second and last, despite Sue Storm's near-death scene being emotional, it feels a bit tropey, considering how Sue gets revived by her son Franklin after 3 minutes. But it's okay, I still love it nonetheless. Overall, the Fantastic Four First Steps is... I think it's time for me to say it. It's fantastic, okay?
Say that again?
All goofy jokes aside, this is a massive improvement over Fantastic Four 2015. In fact, this movie is a huge apology letter to the Fantastic Four franchise and its fans. I am relieved that we finally have a good Fantastic Four movie after a whole decade. In conclusion, thanks to this awesome movie, now I can forget every single thing about Fantastic Four 2015. Unless I want to make a video explaining why Fantastic Four 2015 is an awful movie, but who cares? I give the Fantastic Four First Steps a 9.2 out of 10. Thanks for watching my review on the Fantastic Four First Steps. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.